Islam is an international call to all mankind. We Muslims can really call all the people to Islam by our behaviors, by our attitude, to be righteous, to be pious, to tell the truth, not to bribe, not to really to lie, not to cheat. If we all become really good example, as the companion of Rasulullah ﷺ, towards all non-Muslim, to convey the message for them, just by being a good example.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To begin the formal program, we have Captain Hamoud Ashamaimry. Brother Hamoud Ashamaimry was a captain 5 years back for 19 years with the Saudi Arabian Airlines, preceded by being an Air Force pilot for 10 years. Presently, he is the director of the Islamic Education Foundation, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. For the last 20 years, he has been involved as a da'i, explaining the truth of Islam to non-Muslims. More than 11,000 persons in these last 20 years have been impressed by his presentation of Islam and accepted Islam. He has had a bachelor's degree in aviation science and public administration, as well as Islamic Sharia. To deliver his talk on Islam is Peaceful and an International Call, brothers and sisters, please welcome Captain Hamoud Ashamaimry.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا كما ينبغي لوجه ربنا وعظيم سلطانه، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. My brothers and sisters, respected non-Muslim guests, I greet you with the Islamic greeting, the greeting of the people of paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray to Allah with His good names, with His noble attributes, as He gathered us here in this good place and in this noble occasion. May Allah gather us in paradise with the messenger, with the prophets, with the martyrs, with the pious people. Allah is eligible and capable to respond to that. Before I start my lecture, I also would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave us this opportunity. And I also would like to thank the administration, the management of this peace conference. I call it peace conference, for their invitation. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them all for their efforts, for everything, that remarkable planning and really the excellent organization. If we look to what's happening in the world nowadays, we will see that the whole world is suffering from terrorism, disjunction, disassembly, oppression, destruction, drugs, disease, broken homes, crimes, fornication, rape, homosexuality, suicide, etc., etc. So the question which really forces itself, what causes all that? The answer is despotism. Despotism of materialism and weakness of faith and principles and culture and harmony, to the extent it cannot control human behavior. Those who have separated knowledge and its discoveries and inventions from religion and good morals and decent principles and culture have made a big mistake and got lost, to the degree that people, human beings, are almost living like animals, actually implementing the jungle law. Life is for the strongest only. Strong animals attack weak animals. In another word, people have prestige, wealth, decision, power, authority, connection are the ones who are ruling the world. People today, according to present civilization, are not stable. Human beings, because they are affected. Why? Because they are affected by unstable civilization. To the degree that an individual thinks that he cannot live except as a strong oppressor or weak oppressed individual. Today, or actually present civilization, had changed people to slaves, to life and dust. They live for today only, and for their desires and lust and pleasure. They are distracted away from their destination. They work hard to gain or achieve their near purposes. They don't think seriously or even to remember that they should seek Allah, God. They don't think to seek Allah, God pleasing, or be pious or righteous, or at least what is after this life, or where they're going to end up, where they're going to end up after this life. As a matter of fact, they have substituted the advanced knowledge for the purpose of their own desires and lust, opinions. Not only that, but they have prepared the world for continuous wars. Once one war over, they initiate or start another war, and then got involved in domestic problems and international problems. Their hearts hanged up endless and greedy. They eat as much as they can, but they don't feel full. They drink as much as they can, but they still feel thirsty because of greediness. Life pushing individual and country to wild activity. So the person will be circling around himself and continue circling until he hardly breathes. Then he got tired and feel fatigue, then fall down, unable to stand up again. So what is the solution? What is the real salvation from this situation? My brothers and sisters, respected non-Muslim guests, the best salvation, not the best actually, but the only salvation from this social disease and grievous penalty, actually from this hard punishment or torture or mass destruction, this is sincere call. This is a sincere call from the bottom of my heart, addressed to decision makers. In the world, it is a truthful speech to everyone has an effect on other track of the world or on the path of life. It is a gentle invitation to politicians, economists, information people, press, religion men of other nations. As a matter of fact, it is a call to all mankind. It is invitation with the invitation of God, Allah, Almighty, the Sustainer, to rescue ourselves from this affliction and calamity. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل يا أهل الكتاب تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم ألا نعبد إلا الله ولا نشرك به شيئا ولا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا من دون الله فإن تولوا فقولوا اشهدوا بأننا مسلمون. Say, O people of the scripture, come to a word that's equitable between us and you, that we will not worship except Allah and associate anything with Him, and not to take one another as Lord instead of Allah. But if they turn away, then say, bear witness, we are Muslims submitting to Him. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Say He is Allah, who is one, Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets, nor He is born, nor is other to Him any equivalent. I am inviting the rational, intellectual, the reasonable people who are really seeking the truth and happiness in life and in the hereafter. Nothing can extinguish the severe flame and this ugly racing after our desires and lusts except Islam, the religion of peace, compassion, the religion of Allah, the one. Brothers and sisters, respected non-Muslim guests, Mecca, the land of last revelation, the land of peace and Islam, the land of as-salam, the starting point of revelation on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the human rights rushed 1400 years ago before the world come to know human rights, but also the animal rights and also the trees' rights. This pure sacred town is an invitation to you. This pure town is inviting you to come to peace, to come to success, to come to Islam, the peaceful international call. The world leaders talking about new system will fulfill peace to the whole world. What kind of peace they are talking about? Every day, if not every hour, we see military terrorism, political terrorism, economist terrorism. Peace, they're talking about, peace leads to cheap blood. Peace, they're talking about, leads to losing rights. The peace they're talking about will occupying land. They are building their peace on sugar canes, shaking whenever the wind blows. Brothers and sisters, respected non-Muslim guests, Islam is an international real call, peace call. The only salvation for the world is Islam. Now, I can talk, what is Islam? Islam is not a new religion. Islam is being the religion of Allah from day one, from the time He created this earth. The religion of Allah is Islam, from Adam until the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The word itself, I-S-L-A-M, is the new one, because it comes in Arabic. But the main concept of the religion is the same. The religion of Noah is Islam. The religion of Abraham is Islam. The religion of Moses is Islam. The religion of Jesus is Islam. And the last one, Prophet Muhammad, is Islam. Islam is not a religion, like many people think it only came through the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you look to the population of Muslims all over the world, you will find they exceeded 1 million. How many Arabs out of this 1 million? Only 20%. You talk about 200 up to 250,000. This is the Arab. This proves to us that Islam is not for Arab like many people think. Islam is an international call to all people, to all mankind. But what is Islam? Islam is the full submission to Allah, to bear witness that there is no God deserves to be worshipped except Allah, and not to associate anything with Him or anybody with Him. Islam is calling us to believe in the oneness of Allah, monotheism, at-tawheed. All prophets, from Noah until the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were inviting, calling, guiding their people to believe in the oneness of Allah, tawheed in Arabic. And exactly that's what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam continued the message. So this proves to us that the religion of Allah since day one is Islam. The only thing happened that the word Islam, it came late with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Arabic, because each one of the Prophet and the Messenger was sent in the language of his tribe or his group. So Moses alayhi salam, he was sent to his people, Hebrew. Also the same thing, Jesus alayhi salam, Ibrahim also in his language of his group. Noah, the same thing. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to the people of Mecca who speak Arabic. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran in Arabic. And he challenged them. They were fluent in Arabic. They know the language, the Arabic language, better than anybody nowadays or even ages gone. Even though when Allah challenged them to come up with one surah, with one verse, they couldn't resemble the Quran. They could not imitate the Quran. And nobody will even in the future. Because the Quran, if you change one letter only, if you change one letter from the Quran, the whole meaning changed. I'll give you an example. Surah Al-Fatiha. If any one of you, instead of reading Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, if he say Ahdina, the whole meaning change. There's a big difference between Ihdina and Ahdina. Ahdina means give us a gift. Ahdina. But we should read it or recite it. Ihdina, guide us to the straight path. This is an example. So anyone, if you change one letter or one dot of the Quran, the whole meaning will be changed. So what is Islam? What are required from us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed through his messenger Gabriel. He sent him one day with the image of a person. And he was wearing very white clothes and very black hair. And he came to Rasulullah and he gave the question to Rasulullah. He said, what is Islam? So Rasulullah responded to Gabriel. He said, the one you're asking is not knowledgeable more than one who is asking. That means you know better than me. So then, Islam, he teach him that Islam have 5 pillars. The 2 Shahada, Salah, Sawm, Zakah, Hajj. But if we look to these 5 pillars, how many of these 5 pillars with us all the time, all our life? When you are give Shahada as a Muslim or a new Muslim, once you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, now you become a Muslim. And then you don't have to repeat this every time. You don't have to go to the court. You don't have to go to Islamic centers. Once you say it from your bottom of your heart, and it's convinced, you are convinced both in your heart and your brain, alhamdulillah, you're a Muslim. So you don't have to repeat it every time except in Salah. So the Shahada, we are repeating it every time we perform Salah, Salat Fajr, and Salat Al-Dhuhr, Salat Maghrib, Salat Asr, 5 times. We repeat this 17 times. So now we come to Salah. How many minutes that we should accumulate for Salah every day? We have, as you know, 24 hours per day. We only giving Allah every day 50 minutes only. We are only giving him 50 minutes. 10 minutes Fajr, 10 minutes Dhuhr, 10 minutes Al-Asr, and 10 minutes Maghrib, and 10 minutes Isha. 10 minutes at dawn time, 10 minutes afternoon, noon time, and 10 minutes afternoon, and 10 minutes at sunset, and 10 minutes at late night. So Allah is not really asking you too much. Unfortunately, there are some people, they are not willing to give this 50 minutes to Allah in the masjid, or even at home. But he's willing to spend 5 hours at the satellite, or watching football. So, if you give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 50 minutes properly, and you perform Salah as it's required, Salah, it will be able, inshallah, to make a good, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna salata tanha an al-fahsha'i wal-munkar. Now we come to the third one, Zakah. My brother and sister, and respected non-Muslim guest, Zakah is only applied on a person when he accumulated some amount of money for 1 year. If you are saving some money for 1 year, let's say you started January, and 2nd January, you have certain amount of money. You did not touch, you did not spend, you should go to the gold market and ask how much the price of 85 grams of gold. And if once they tell you, you should see how much money you have. If the money you are saving 1 year is equal to the price of 85 grams of gold, then you pay zakat 1.5%. So if you have 10,000 rupee, let's say 85 grams is 10,000 rupee. Then you pay how much? 250 rupee for zakah. Nothing. Peanuts. This tells you that not every Muslim must pay zakah. If you meet this condition, then you pay zakah. Charity is different. Charity is different. This is you can do all your life, all your day, all your years. We come to the fourth pillar, Sawm, fasting. Fasting only we come once a year. And there is also a lot of waivers to many kind of people who cannot, they are allowed not to fast. But now, even the people who fast, how many hours we fast? We only fast about 8 to 10 hours only. And there, unfortunately, there are people, they are fasting, yes, but he never tastes the fasting because he sleep from dawn to sunset. Then he woke up, he said, he's looking for to break his fast as soon as possible. So even fast, there are some women, when the women have menstruation, they don't fast. They make it up later. When the woman is giving birth, she can make it up later. When a person is sick, he can make it up later. Somebody is traveling or a woman is traveling, he can make it up later. And the one who is really sick, he will not be cured. Then he doesn't have to do it. He just gives charity instead. Anyone who is sick, and there is, suppose a person have a cancer, then he doesn't have to fast. Because he will not be cured, we know, unless in rare cases somebody is cured from cancer. So even fasting is not really everybody have to do. There are some waiver to certain people. And we come to Hajj. Hajj, going to Mecca to perform pilgrimage, is only once a life, provided you can afford it. What do you mean by لمن استطاع إليه سبيلا? It means that you should be able financially. And also, you feel security. You feel secure in yourself and your family. The one going with you, also the one you leave behind you. And also, you are healthy. You're not sick. If you don't have these conditions, Allah will forgive you for performing Hajj, even if it's once a life. For the lady, she must have mahram. So the women, the Muslim women, should have 4. She have financially, usually the husband take care of that. And also she feels secure, and she's healthy, and she must have mahram. If the woman has no mahram, Allah will forgive her. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created us, He knows that not all Muslims will be in Mecca. He knows that the Muslim will be all over the world. Because He, the one created them. That's why Allah gave this condition that you must do Hajj, provided you can afford it. And affording it, it includes, I mentioned, 4 things. So really, if we look actually, what pillar with us all the time? Only one pillar, Salah. This is the one with us all our life. Once you've done Hajj, you don't have to do it again, unless you want to volunteer. Zakah, I mentioned, once a year, provided you meet the conditions. Sawm, once a year. It's only 8 hours a day to 10 hours. So, my brother and sister, and respected non-Muslim guests, Allah is not asking much. He's not really asking us to do much, unless if you want to volunteer Salah, you want to volunteer Sawm, you want to volunteer Hajj, this is up to you. People, a lot of Muslims have volunteered. They fast Monday and Thursday because they're following the step of Rasulullah, because Rasulullah used to fast Thursday and Monday. And he said about Monday, that the day I was born, and I want to fast on that day. This is the day I was born in Monday. And Thursday, he said, Allah in Thursday escalated the deeds, the good deeds. And I want my deeds to be escalated to Allah while I'm fasting. And this is really a good sunnah. There are people also fasting the 10th of Muharram, Ashura. There are people who are fasting the white days, 13, 14, 15 of each lunar month. There are people, of course, who are giving volunteer salah more than the obligatory salah. They're making qiyam at night. But actually, once you fulfill these 5 pillars, Allah will guarantee Jannah for you. I'll give you an evidence for that. A man came to Rasulullah and asked him about Islam. Then Rasulullah explained to him these 5 pillars. Told him Shahada to Allah ilaha illallah, to bear witness that there is no God worth to be worshipped but Allah. And you also bear witness that Muhammad is Rasulullah. And you have to pray Salah, and you pay Zakah, and you perform Sawm, fasting, and you perform Hajj if you can afford. Then the man said, is there anything else I can do? He said, no. He said, by my God, I will not add or decrease. And the man left. And Rasulullah tell his companion, he will be successful if he told the truth. He will be successful if he told the truth. This tells us, if you just follow the 5 pillars of Islam, and of course, believe it from your bottom heart and perform the obligation according to the teaching of Rasulullah, not according whenever you want. It's the time, Salah has certain time. And also believe in the 6 pillars of Iman. We have 5 pillars of Islam, and we have 6 pillars of Iman, of faith, to believe in Allah and His Messenger, His angels, His books, and also in the last day and the destiny. So my brothers and sisters, I call again, I repeat again, and this is an invitation to all people to think about what is the real salvation. What is really the thing will rescue the people from the harmony and disaster they're living. We must go back to Allah. We must ask His refuge. We must believe in Allah. We must worship Allah alone. We're not supposed to worship idols, bricks, stones, statues, fabricated in factories, sold in the market. How come I prostrate or worship something fabricated by human beings? This man who fabricated these idols or these bricks or this picture, he himself cannot help himself. So we have to think about that. I am actually inviting my respected non-Muslim guest to think seriously about the thing he was being raised up, the thing he was told, the one he taught. Think about it. Our really ultimate goal, not really to criticize or advertise or antagonize. No. Our ultimate goal of all the brothers who have given before me is really to save you from hellfire. To save you, because we Muslim believe with no doubt that we have an obligation on our shoulders towards all non-Muslim to convey the message for them, because Allah commanded us. Allah said in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 104, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ الْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. A rising nation among you must rise to invite for the sake of Allah and command good and forbid evil, and those are the successful. Also, Allah said, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech? Who is invited into the sake of Allah, do righteousness, and he said, I am the Muslim. Also, Rasulullah told us, convey in my behalf at least one ayah. بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. Convey on my behalf at least one ayah. That's mean, this is, I'm addressing now this to our brothers and sisters, the Muslim. This tells you, my brother and Muslim and sisters, you don't have to be knowledgeable. You don't have to be graduated from an Islamic university. You don't have to be a sheikh to convey the message. All what you have to do, just give a pamphlet, give a literature, give a tape, invite your neighbor to your home for a coffee or tea or a dinner, to clear your sight, because in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will judge you. He will brought you. This neighbor, who nothing, he doesn't know about Islam, in the day of judgment, he will come to Allah and he said, this is my neighbor. He knows that Islam is the true religion. He never called me, he never explained to me. So we have to realize, my brothers and sisters, our obligation, our responsibility toward our religion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the same chapter 2, Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, verse 19, Inna ad-deena 'inda Allah al-Islam. Inna ad-deena 'inda Allah al-Islam. The religion to Allah is Islam. In the same chapter, verse 85, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever embraces a religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him, and in the hereafter, he will be among the losers. So, my respected non-Muslim guests, this is our obligation. Because we don't want you to be among the losers. Because we want you to go to paradise. We don't want you to go to hellfire. We don't want to be selfish. It is our obligation to convey the message to you. And that's the ultimate goal and the ultimate aim of all Islamic conferences, like these conferences. We are not here actually to influence anybody. We are not here to criticize anybody. As a matter of fact, we are here to save everybody. I hope that I really covered and clear what is actually mean by Islam is peaceful and international call. By that, I conclude my talk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Jazakallah, Brother Hamoud Ashamaimry, for your excellent presentation. Now we would have the open question answer session in which you may put forward your questions to Brother Hamoud Ashamaimry on the topic, Islam is peaceful, an international call. Your question should be on the topic, brief, and you may ask only one question at a time. Non-Muslims would be given preference over Muslims in putting forward the question to the speaker. Yes, brother, you can put forward your first question.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hussein Arsiwala. I am a steel dealer. My question is regarding the fasting part that you said in your lecture, that there are some waivers for Muslims in specific conditions. Now, fine, but generally the thing is that people who are suffering from diabetes and high and low blood pressure, they tend to put that as an excuse and they do not fast. But there is also a school of thought that in spite of that, even if you fast in spite of being a diabetic patient or suffering from blood pressure, there is a school of thought that it doesn't affect you. So could you just throw some light on this, like scientifically, like how can you argue with generally the elders in our family who generally put that as an excuse that we need to drink water because of blood pressure throughout the day, so we are not fasting. So just put some light on this aspect.
Jazakallah khair, brother, for your question. First of all, I would like to remind everybody that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah wants on you, He wants ease on you, not hardship. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا وُسْعَهَا. Allah will not burden, a soul more than it can do. So if this person is going to be dying, his illness from diabetic or blood pressure is continuous, then yes. And if he fasts, it affects his health, he doesn't have to fast. And he can pay charity instead. But if he's really, doctor tell him that he will be cured, after 2-3 years, after he's cured, then he can fast. He doesn't just leave fasting. But if this is anything in Islam, anything affecting your health, especially, let's make example for the ladies. She's pregnant, and she may feel that, if she fasts, that will have a side effect on her baby, then she doesn't have to fast until she delivered, and after she clean, then she make it up later. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, brother, you can put forward your next question.
My name is Muhammad Rashid. I am a government employee. In chapter 2, verse 62 says, even if you are a Jew, Christian or Magian, you will have no fear in hereafter, then why non-Muslim should accept Islam?
Good question. Jazakallah khair. My brother, I would like you to know there are verses. A revelation was, it was revealed to Rasulullah during the time of Rasulullah. The people who are really followed Jesus and the people who followed Moses alayhi salam, and they died during Moses alayhi salam and died during Jesus alayhi salam, they are actually accepted. But what's happening nowadays, the books have been changed and actually they are missed. So the people, most of the Christianity nowadays are really misinterpreted. And also all the books which are available, they contradict each other. So actually Christianity, for your information, it was not existing until after the death of Jesus alayhi salam. After he died, the Saint Paul, he is the one fabricated and invented Christianity and Trinity. So now the people who doesn't believe in Allah, anyone who take a partner with Allah, 3 or 1 or 2, he is not accepted. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that we should not have shirk, we should not associate with Him anybody or anything. So anybody associate with Allah, whether a person or a statue or an idol, this is also, it will consider shirk, and Allah will not accept it, because Allah will not forgive if you associate with Him and anything, and He will forgive if it's less than that. Jazakallah khair.
Yes, sister.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Salma Sabir Salim. Brother, I would like to ask you, as you say Islam is peaceful, many of my colleagues often ask me, how do you explain the violence practiced by your brothers in the form of suicide bombings and bombing marketplaces, killing innocent women and children? So brother, what can I say? Are they right or wrong?
Thank you very much. Very good question. This is a good question, my brother and sister. This is existing. This what the sister said, may Allah reward her. This is really a problem, an existing problem. But I would like to clarify that Islam is different from some Muslims. You should not judge Islam through some behaviors of Muslim. As a matter of fact, it's the opposite. If you see a good Muslim behavior, if you see a Muslim, whether a man or woman, are performing Islam properly, this is because Islam. And if you see the Muslim, as you said, that they kill people, innocent people, they make, explode themselves, kill themselves, and they kill other people, innocent people, this is, he paid for that. Islam is innocent from what he did or what he did. Those people who are killing innocent people, Islam is innocent from them. Islam does actually against terrorism, against killing innocent people. I'll give you just example of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just to show you. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to leave his home, and every time he walked in the street going to masjid, he found some garbage and dirt in his way. And he knows who's doing this for him. And one day he left his house and going to the masjid, and he missed the garbage and the dirt in his way. So he asked what happened. He knows it's a woman, a Jewish woman doing this for him. And then he asked about it. They told him she's sick. Today she's sick, that's why she couldn't go out and do this she used to do, against you. Then Rasulullah did not say, oh, thanks Allah, may Allah curse her, may Allah, she may die. No, Rasulullah went and knocked her door and take, a permission, and he visited her and he called her for Islam, and she became Muslim. So this tells us that what you see and what you hear and what you read in the satellite, on the papers about some Muslim, they are representing themselves. Islam is free from them. Islam is innocent with them. Islam is against that, 100%. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nazir. I'm a businessman. I want to ask you, why the 5 times salah? What is the hikmat in that? We are living in a very fast world.
Very good.
People have very less time.
Okay.
So, can we read all the 5 times salah in one time? Suppose we come home and then we read the salah.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. First of all, I would like to let you know, brother, that the salah actually, the salah which is, Allah have decided for the Muslim during Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was 50 salah. When Rasulullah sallallahu was escalated from Jerusalem, Al-Quds, you can read this in his story and the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu, when he was when he was escalated to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him for 50 salah in the beginning. And then when he was coming down, he met Musa alayhi salam. And then Moses told him, how many salah Allah have given you to your nation? He said 50 salah. So he told him, go back to your Allah and ask less. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went back and asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reduce 50, and then he continued doing this until 5 salah. Even that, Moses said, go back, ask less. He said, no, I feel ashamed, I'm not going to ask Allah anymore. So if you look to the 5 salah, look at the time. We start our day with salah, and then we end up our day with salah. We start our day with the dawn salah. And in the middle of noon, in Europe, in America, they have what you call tea break, lunch break at 12 o'clock. And we have the best. We have salah. 12 o'clock, maybe here 12:15. In the middle of the noon, we just leave the work, abandon our job. Once we hear adhan, we should go and make salah, wherever we are. And just at the end of the day, Asr time, we have another salah, you call it Asr. And it is the middle salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, حافظوا على الصلاة والصلاة الوسطى. Take care of all salah and the middle salah, which is Salat al-Asr. And then beginning of the night, which is sunset, Just when the night starts, we have another salah. And just before we go to bed, we have Salat al-Isha. And this is to begin your day with salah and to end up your salah. And you know what is the meaning of salah? Salah actually comes from sila in Arabic. Link. When you are performing salah, you are actually linking yourself with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From a sila. So when you are performing salah, that means you are with Allah from time you wake up until you sleep. And this will prevent you from committing bad sin. I hope you answered the question, brother.
Yes, brother, that would be the last question of this talk.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Brother Hamoud, Jazakallah for this wonderful lecture. I have a question in the sense that many times non-Muslims, they're hesitant to accept Islam because of the habits that they have being non-Muslims. Like, for example, if somebody is rich, or even the habits or their lifestyle, somebody is very rich and he's got a lot of money, so if he accepts Islam now, he has to start paying zakah and sadaqah. He has to give up all that rich and lavish lifestyle. So how can we confront such a situation?
If I understood your question, you told me, the reason they don't accept Islam because they are afraid they have to pay money after they become Muslim?
Or change their lifestyle in the way, or pay money also. That's also one of those.
Well, this is our responsibility and our obligation to explain to them, the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the bounties he will receive. And as I mentioned, zakah is not obligatory on each Muslim. There are conditions to meet, and it's only once a year. And the charity, it's up to you. Charity actually paid, even from non-Muslim. Everybody is paying charity nowadays. But, for him, just not to accept Islam, except just because he's afraid that he may lose money, that's, of course, not acceptable. But if you manage to convince him to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he accepted Islam, this money business, it will not be an obstacle for him. Really, I'm telling you from experience. I'm running Islamic Center in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, for the last 18 years. With the help of Allah, with the sake of Allah, we managed to convince more 11,750 people become Muslim. Alhamdulillah. So if we manage if one center managed with the help of Allah to convince 11,750 people, and we have in the kingdom 245 centers calling people to Islam. So you're talking about 100,000 a year becoming Muslim. So I don't think, that number can go with this, but because of the money, he will not accept Islam. Once the person, I'll tell you a thing, my brother. The people who tasted the bitterness of Jahiliyyah, of Kufr, once they taste the sweetness of Islam, it will go to their heart and he will not care about money. But let him taste the sweetness of Islam first. With your way, with your behavior, with your attitude, we Muslims can really call all the people to Islam by our behaviors, by our attitude, to be righteous, to be pious, to tell the truth, not to bribe, not to really to lie, not to cheat, not to really give them bad example. If we all become really good example, as the companion of Rasulullah went all over the world for businessmen, and they managed to spread Islam all over the world just by being a good example, And also, I just want you to know more thing, that when we calling people to Islam, we have to be soft. ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي أحسن. Call in the sake of Allah with wisdom and good talk and have a dialogue gently. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Moses and Aaron, his brother, to the worst person ever walked in earth, to Pharaoh, what did Allah tell him? Told him, go to him and have a soft word with him. Maybe لعله. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent who are better than us, millions of years, and he's on the top of us in his behavior and his righteousness and his piousness, to the worse than us. And even though Allah commanded Musa and Aaron to speak soft to Pharaoh, and this is the way I advise my brothers and sisters Muslim, if you really want to call people to Islam, you should be a good example yourself. Otherwise, how do you expect from a person to accept your religion and you yourself, you're not practicing it? Jazakallah khair.
Thank you, brother. Jazakallah, Sheikh Hamoud Ashamaimry, for your talk on the topic Islam is peaceful and international call. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair.